how I overheated during a live shoot, and why I didn't mind. Thanks for clicking and watching my video, and I'd super appreciate it if you hit the like button and let me know what you think of the video when it's done. Now this story consists of a planned event, and how I was ready for it. Let's start off with who and what I was recording.
Coming with me, right? Let's go.
This is Sophia Angelica. She's a singer, songwriter, and actress since she was 13, and has been featured on network television several times, as well as the voice of the singing rabbit on Dora the Explorer. She's done a ton more things in the industry, but this night she was performing at a restaurant, and I looked at this as an opportunity to test out event recording with the R5 in 8K RAW. In these days with current social distancing practices, I haven't been able to record live events for a long time, and I wanted to give my R5 a test run in such a scenario where I could put the camera to the test and record in the most stressful setting on the R5 to start.
Even if I get 20 minutes of 8K RAW, that's enough for what I need. But let's really push the R5 and see what we can do. Gotta run.
Since I had anticipated the camera would overheat, I had a plan ahead of time before the camera itself could overheat at all. And this is the point of my video. What did I do to combat the overheating? First, I recorded in 8K RAW to begin with as much as possible. Since this was a singing event, where possible, I would start and stop the footage after a couple of songs when the singer would take a break. This allowed the camera some time to cool off and also prevented me from recording unnecessary footage at a very high bitrate. Second, before the event started, I also made sure that my video settings were set to record log footage and the white balance was where I needed it to be. Even though I recorded RAW, by having the other settings in place, I could be able to switch to 4K and already have the white balance where I needed it to be when I switched from one custom mode to another. So as her performance kicks off, I had the camera on a gimbal. To be honest, the gimbal wasn't too well balanced because I had my rather heavy 24 to 70mm f2.8 on the camera set to 70mm, which is very front heavy. I made it work, but there were times when the gimbal just would give up and ruin a shot. This was totally my error, but it's okay. I could afford to take risks at this shoot since the footage was for added content in different projects and for testing the setup. So then filming started, and the 8K was looking good. The restaurant wasn't particularly well lit, and social distancing rules meant that I could not get too close to the performers for their safety in mind. However, the 8K video solved for that. When necessary, I could crop all I want in post to my heart's content without losing any quality. This mode continued for about 27 minutes. That's when I started to get the overheating warning. Right from there, I had a plan. Finish a shot that I was capturing, then turn off the 8K mode. Once I did that, I quickly switched to 4K cropped mode in 10-bit log. Why? Because the 4K cropped mode oversamples the 4K to give you a sharper image than the full frame non-HQ 4K. And it gave me the ability to be even closer to my subject than my lens would permit. I was able to record the rest of the footage that I needed in this mode with no overheating issues whatsoever. I planned for this, and it worked out beautifully. There are many videos where YouTubers have stated that the R5 shouldn't be used for long events, and I don't agree with this statement. I do agree that the half-hour recording limit is annoying and should be removed from Canon cameras, which make it harder for event recording, but you can totally work around that. I've recorded many events with the 5D Mark IV and have attained great footage. The 5D is much more limited than the amazing R5. The R5 can record long events without overheating. You just need to know what modes work when the camera gets warmer. Yes, the Sony a7S III could have probably recorded the entire event at 120 frames per second, but why would I want that? I wouldn't. What I am able to get is great 10-bit 422 4K in a higher quality than the a7S III with no overheating in the crop mode. Don't get me wrong, Sony a7S III is a great camera, so is the A1 and the R5. What I'm saying is get familiar with your camera no matter what it is. For example, if I had my GH5 with me, I know I would have had great footage and would have told you how amazing it went with that camera too. The important thing is to know the tool you're using, and it's up to you as an artist to make whatever you film look incredible.
And this is Sophia. She's an amazing performer.
Hello, thank you for coming and supporting.
And it's super, super awesome and honored to do this.
Oh yes, and then you can come see me live whenever I am performing live, and I'll keep you posted on that.
Definitely. So subscribe to her channel, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.